In this clip, we will have a look to the result of the render and we will see how to re-render the couple of bad frames. So the render is done. You will find the images inside the project folder in the images folder, and then this should be inside the TMP folder in there. Maya saved the images in the TMP folder when you use the render sequence option here. The frames are coming in the root of the images folder if you are using the batch render, but we didn't use the batch render here, we used the render sequence. So the images ended up in the TMP folder, which is fine. You can leave them here or just move them somewhere else if you want. As you can see, we have a folder for each camera, and inside each folder, a frame sequence for the beauty and one for the depth pass. Okay, so I opened the frame sequences in After Effects and I cached them already. Let's have a look. This is the first shot. What do you think? I think it looks great. We didn't spend a lot of time on these shots, and still we get a really great looking result. This is why I like Mesh. Within a couple of minutes, you can create really neat stuff, and with Arnold, you can obtain a great lighting without sweating too much. Alright, I can see that I have a couple of glitchy frames here in my first shot, but let's have a look to the other shots first and we'll talk about that right after. Here is the second shot. It looks good as well, isn't it? I think it was a great decision to offset the construction of the gramophones. We really have the time here to see the different steps. Now, the last shot, I just removed the last frames and keep only from frame 1 to frame 71 as I will include these renders in the course files and it will save some space. This shot is a bit fast and a little less interesting than the other ones, but with some compositing techniques you'll see that it will look great as well. Alright, well, I still have some glitchy frames in the first shot. So if you're looking around frame 131, I can see these artifacts on the gramophones. It comes often from the mash spring, which is duplicating the geometries to have them bouncing around, but sometimes they are colliding and creating this issue. However, if you try to look at this frame in Maya and render this only one frame through the Arnold render view, you will see that everything is fine. So unfortunately, there is not much you can do with it, but there is a fix. And it sounds stupid, but you just need to re-render these frames separately or by small batch to fix the issue. So what I usually do, I'm going through the shot frame by frame and noting on the piece of paper, yeah, a real one with a real pen. It feels good sometimes. And so yeah, I'm writing down all these frames which needs to be re-rendered, and here I did already the job for you. There is 120, 121, 122, 123, then 131, 32, 33, and so on. Well, let's address together the first frames and you'll do the other ones on your end if you need to. Also, as this is a bit random, maybe you will have issues on totally different frames, or maybe you just won't have issues at all. So let's jump back in Maya and I will go inside the render settings under the command tab and I will specify the small frame range for the bad frames. Here let's do from frame 118 to 123. Now because these issues are only on the first camera, I will remove the camera 2 and 3 by clicking on the little trash bin here. And here I want to make sure I'm keeping the same name to override the frames in this case. I can click on close, I should be good now. And now you want to go to the render menu again, then render sequence. But now you want to untick the render all cameras. And here we are. Maya will render those frames and you should be good to go. The render is done. If you reload the sequence in After Effects or your favorite frame player, it should be good. Magic! I went ahead and fixed the other images as well, so we are all ready to go for the compositing. And we will do that really soon in the next module. But before ending this clip, let's have a quick recap of what we learned in this module. We started by applying a AI standard Arnold shader to all our objects in the scene. Then we lighted the scene, trying to find a right balance between the key light and the environment light. We tinted these lights to create a nicer look and get the best out of the volumes. Then we added 3 cameras to shoot the scene from 3 different angles. As well, we animated these cameras. We did some playblast of these 3 shots and try a rough editing to see if it was working properly. This step allows us to see that we had some timing issues and camera movement issues as well. We then went back in Maya to adjust when the gramophones were appearing and to modify a little bit as well the camera movements. Next, we configured the Arnold settings and we found the right balance between the render time and the quality. Then we configured the common render settings and we added a depth pass in the AOVs. Finally, we kicked off the render. And in this last clip, we had a look to the results and we had to fix a couple of frames which had artifacts. Now we are ready to move on. In the next 2 modules, we will do the compositing of these shots. You will be able to choose if you want to comb these images in Nuke or in After Effects. You can pick up the one you are the most comfortable with, or the one you want to practice. It's good to have the choice, isn't it? These modules won't be about the fundamentals of Nuke or After Effects, but I'll make sure that each of my steps I'll do will be well explained for anyone to be able to follow along and achieve a great looking comp. Again, I'm pretty excited about what is coming. So if you are leaving me here, I will say thank you for watching. However, if you're sticking around, let's get started.